All right, I want to start by just thanking my staff. We got here early April and hit the ground running and worked tirelessly 14-hour days to bring in a great class. And they are responsible for help bringing this class. Coach DeVillibus and Coach Malone and Coach Kirkland, especially, I think their ties to recruits. I think the credibility we had in coming here from Green Bay and the credibility those two had as recruiters as well made a difference in this class. And for us to come in here, and one of the things we said early is we don't get tied into numbers in our recruiting. We really don't follow what a kid's ranked at all. When we're recruiting them, we don't care about that because we want to recruit high character and high integrity first, and that's what we set out to do in this class. We're excited to bring in with Sarah Hartwell that we have 7 kids that we've signed since we've gotten here, and we feel like they're the type of kids that we're looking for, kids that are hard-nosed, kids that are really driven, kids that are really coachable, and will represent this great university really well. And so we're really pleased with this class. I know the one ranking had us as 25th ranked class. It is the nice PR to get some of that notoriety. But the most important thing, these are kids that are going to come here and do the right things to get better. These are kids that will build the right cultures and making this program great. We spent a lot of time recruiting these kids and just really pleased with them. I got a chance to talk to them on the phone last night, and just their spirit, and who they are as people is really exciting. And it's a great class. So, start with Jackie Grant out of Maine South. I talked to Jackie last night. She had 28 in their first game. 6'3" forward that can step inside, outside. Really skilled and going to be a great player. Kennedy Cattenhead from Bolingbrook. Obviously, Bolingbrook's been the top program in the state, or one of them, and for many years. Taylor Tuck comes from that program as well. And Kennedy just physically is incredibly gifted. A lefty that can get to the rim and shoot it. She could play the point, but also play the 2 as well. Leah Bolton that comes from Marist, another really great high school program. Really athletic. We saw her in one game this summer, probably one of the top level games that we saw all summer. Competed really hard against Linnea Harper's team, the Chicago Fire, and then really a back and forth game. And Leah was just really played at a really high level in that game. And again, it's another kid that gives us a lot of versatility. We like kids that can, big guards that can get around in front of the post, but also can get to the rim and make plays. And that's kind of what we look for. I think it's really important that you recruit to your system. And we want bigger guards that are physical, and then we want post kids. We really call them inside-outside because we want them all to step out and pass and shoot the 3. And Sarah Livingston is a perfect addition to that as well. She can step out and shoot the 3. She's long. She's athletic. She just started playing basketball in the 9th grade and already is ranked as a top 100 player and going to have a great career here. So we started by really wanting to recruit the state. Thankfully, it was a good year for the state. I think that makes a difference. Some years the state's going to produce a higher level Division I kids than other years, and this was a good good year to come, and to be able to get 4 of the top kids, I'd say 4 of the top 6 or 7 kids in the state, we've got committed that have signed with us today. And then you add Taylor Gleason, a kid that had committed to Michigan, a person that had ties with Coach Kirkland. She comes to our basketball camp this summer and reopens her recruiting, and we're able to get a really good point guard, a kid that's got some toughness to her. Her team won the state championship last year, and just someone that's really driven. That's something that we look for, is kids that just want to get better. And her coming to elite camp, you could see every time we taught her, she just was soaking it up and just really driven to want to get better. And that's one of the important things, again, that we look for. And then Michaela Shackelford's a kid that had committed to us at Green Bay, decided to reopen her recruiting, and came here and basically verbal to us as soon as she stepped on campus. So pretty neat to have her here. She plays for the best program out of Minnesota, Hopkins, one of the best high school programs in the country. And her high school coach, as you can see on the handout that you got, said she's one of the toughest and hardest workers that he's ever coached. Well, he's produced a lot of Division I kids, and that's, again, something we're looking for. I think that toughness quality is something that's really important in our program. If you've watched us play in the start of this year, our ability to pressure the ball and get after it and play really hard, we're looking for kids that have a high degree of toughness to them. And then kids that want to get better, kids that are driven. And I think we have that in this class. And again, I'm so appreciative to our staff. to come here and be celebrating this class this early. Your first year is your hardest year recruiting, and these guys have done a great job, and we put together a great class, and a class that we believe will make a difference in this program.
Talk about Livingston a little bit. Comes from a pretty good basketball family, but do you see her as maybe a little bit of a project somewhere down the road can turn into a really good player? How do you see her?
Yeah, I wouldn't say project's the right word. I think Sarah's the biggest adjustment for post kids is just getting stronger. I think Mackenzie Piper's a perfect example of a kid coming in. Mackenzie's not a typical freshman at how strong she is, and that's allowed her to be able to play right away. And that'll be the challenge for Sarah, is how quickly she can get stronger. But she's highly skilled. She can step out and shoot the three. She's really long, covers the court in just a few steps. And just her best basketball is definitely ahead of her. And I know I traveled around the caravans this summer and, was talking to people. And you could hear the buzz about Sarah Livingston as the different communities that we went to this summer. And really excited to watch her play throughout the summer. Have her come, the day we had our elite camp, we also had a team camp. So she played 4 games in the team camp, gets done with that, and we start our elite camp. And she's dead tired from that, and she competes in each and every drill. And we thought, that's, again, really important to the future success, is how hard they're going to compete. Every kid's going to get challenged. Every kid's going to get tired. What you do in those situations says a lot about your character and who she is. And she showed us a lot at our lead camp by just working through and being competitive, even though she was tired. I tell you what, kind of just a quick story on her. We were offering another kid. It was kind of her and another kid that we told them it's going to be the first one to accept. And we're trying to get her to come visit, and she's talking about maybe visiting August 5th. And, and we said, any chance you can come before that? And she said, well, I said, what about August, I think it was August 2nd. She said, well, I'm actually going to see my grandma that day. And she's committed to go see her grandma, knows that she could lose a scholarship to Illinois, but you know what? I told my grandma I'm going to go do this, and that's what she's going to do. And I thought, what an amazing young lady to be able to do that. I gave him my word, so I'm going to follow through on doing that. It says a lot about her heart and who she is, and thankfully it worked out for her to commit and get the scholarship, and we're really excited about her.
Looks like Michaela had a knee injury during last season. How's her rehab coming along? Is she expected to play quite a bit?
Yeah, she's cleared and back playing. And yeah, obviously coming back from ACL takes a little bit of time, but already, a week or two, her first week, there was all kinds of tweets talking about her being back and looking really good. And she's a kid, again, plays in a high school program that's got 4, 5, 6 Division I players in it. And so you may not look at her stats and think, oh, that's not a ton of points per game, but she's one of their best defenders and does all the little things, and a kid that would be a very good program, a very good player.
Who was that?
Michaela Shackelford.
I guess what was the biggest challenge just coming in as a first-year coach, and how did you kind of handle that aspect of it?
Yeah, one of the things Coach Lewis said is we're trying to get kids to buy into a vision before they can see it. We're telling them, and one of the things we did is we showed them our Iowa State tape, from Green Bay, and talked about, this is how we're going to play defense. And obviously we've made some changes offensively here, but we talked about playing really fast and really aggressively. And those kids, bought hold. Michaela verbal really early to us. And then Jackie Grant, kind of bought hold of the vision. She had offers from DePaul and other great schools and came down here and verbal to us. 2 days later, Kennedy Catton had verbals to us, and that just got the ball rolling. And so we needed some kids to grab hold of the vision before they could see it. And we're really thankful that they did, because that's something that's hard to know. Yeah, we know where we're going, we believe it, but can you sell that to recruits, and can you get them to verbally commit to you when they haven't seen it on the court? They don't know how long this is going to take at Illinois to turn this around. We're telling them it's going to be fast, but every coach is telling them the right things. So, how they stepped in, and they put their trust in us and what we did and what we said, and that was pretty neat to have them do that so fast.
Did you find it easier because you had the Illinois name to recruit instead of Green Bay at all?
Yeah, I think it was a combination. I think the credibility, Jackie was going to verbal to DePaul, and her AAU coaches said, hey, before you do that, go down and meet these guys. Go down and spend some time with that staff and do me a favor and do that before you commit. Well, she comes down, she comes back 2 weeks later, and she commits to us. If the AAU coaches didn't know what we did at Green Bay, we wouldn't have gotten her to visit. But at the same time, Taylor Gleason wants to go into engineering. And, us having one of the top 5 engineering programs in the country makes a difference in recruiting her. Sarah Livingston wants to go into business, one of the top business schools in the country. Those things make a difference. And that's one of the things that's such a blessing here, is to have the academic piece on the women's side that makes a huge difference. and we're really using that here to try to get the top academic kids in the country to consider visiting here.
Talk about your game coming up against Bradley and this weekend against Cleveland State.
Yeah, they have a new coach. Coach Brooks is there, and you know, I watched the game against Eastern Illinois the other night. They were down 5 with 2 minutes left, and came back to win that game. They have all the guards back from last year that helped them have a lot of success last year. So we expect a team to come in here and be very confident. A team that this is an important game to them. Playing these kids, not all of them were recruited by Illinois, and so they'll come in here with a chip on their shoulder, anxious to prove, that maybe they should have been. And so we expect to see their very best. They're a team that gets up and down the court, and so it could be an exciting game. It could be a fun style a game, and certainly that's something we want to do. But I expect them to come in here and, they just want a road game, be very confident, and play extremely hard.
Just one more thing on recruiting. Once you kind of get the ball rolling with your vision, is the idea, do you think you can lure a top player in the country? I mean, with the Midwest and Illinois being such a hotbed.
Yeah, certainly our style of play is going to help us in recruiting. But again, we don't get wrapped up. One of the things we talk about as a staff, we don't want to recruit a kid who feels like they're doing us a favor by coming to Illinois. Because is that kid really, when we have a practice like yesterday and we grind them for 2 hours and 45 minutes and we're on them about every single thing they do wrong, is that kid really going to do that? So, we want to recruit kids, that we're not doing them a favor by offering, that they're excited about us, they're going to come here and bust their butt. And sometimes those ranked kids, I think that can be an issue. I think the amount of notoriety they get, sometimes that can create issues. And we want kids that are going to come in and buy into our vision. And whether that leads to a kid that's ranked in the top 10 or 20 and down the road or not, honestly, we're not going to get wrapped up in that at all. We're going to recruit the right kids. They're going to do the right things. I certainly think recruiting will get easier the longer we're here. But if a kid's ranked or not, I think all these kids are kids that are coming in here and going to do extremely well.
Matt, I apologize if you've already answered this question, but did you use with the large class as it is, did you use every available scholarship?
Yeah, we do have one scholarship that we'll wait and see. We're not probably going to use it in the 13 class. We'll see what happens with Adrian Godbold and as far as her getting back at semester time or not. But there is one scholarship that we could have available. We're trying to keep that for Adrian and see what happens with her.
As you go forward, do you have to kind of rebalance things in terms of if you
Yeah, one of the things we like to do is redshirt, and that really helps balance out the classes. Of the 6 kids coming in, it's too early to tell what we'll do exactly. But if a kid's not going to play their freshman year, then we'll sit down with them, talk to them, hey, this is what's best for you and best for the program. And if they're not going to play significant minutes, I don't know why we'd use a year of eligibility when we could redshirt them and have them. They're always going to be better their 5th year than the first. But it's a little early to tell, obviously, with that.
Any questions on the phone line? Anything else?
All right, thank you.